Here we go! Welcome to the Nintendo Power Zone, guys. It's your boy NyceOne. We are back with a brand new unboxing video, and today we have 3 for the price of 1. Today, Funko Pop released the Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon Funko Pops, and yes, there is an Eevee in this series, but Eevee isn't street dated until Tuesday, which is odd, but GameStop was able to hold one for me, so on Tuesday I'll go pick mine up, and then we'll film a solo unboxing for that figure. But guys, I am hella excited about these 3 because I've been anticipating them since they were announced back in February. I love what Funko has been doing with the An Afternoon with Eevee and Friends series, and I feel like they've learned a lot about the Eeveelution, so let's see how well they've transitioned their knowledge into the Funko Pop format. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and start with Vaporeon. And right off the bat, ladies and gentlemen, I am impressed. Not just by the sculpt, because I think the sculpt looks absolutely phenomenal, but I'm impressed by the quality. First off, there's a little bit of heft to this figure. And at closer analysis of the body, I noticed the body was more of a hard vinyl instead of like hollow like your typical Funko Pop. And that just makes the quality feel so much better. It's almost in line with the Vaporeon figure from the Afternoon with Eevee and Friends line. This is some of Funko's absolute best work as far as quality is concerned, and it's done in a 4-inch. That's what's blowing my mind. I've never seen a 4-inch Pokemon Pop look and feel this good. So Funko, color me impressed because you guys blew it out of the park with the quality of this one. I love the colors. The colors look absolutely on point. And I love the fins. The sculpting of the fins feels great. I cannot believe how much I love this Vaporeon Pop. Just like the Afternoon with Eevee and Friends figure, you can tell the person who is sculpting these Pops really has an affinity for Vaporeon. It's gotta be his or her favorite. Alright, so let's take a look at the back of the figure real quick because I just want to point out that the tail for Vaporeon is 2 separate pieces, and you can see the seam that connects the 2. Now unfortunately my seam isn't 100% connected. There's like a little space in between, and you know me, I hate that. I hated that on the Vulpix, and I hate it a little bit here, specifically since I look at this Vaporeon and I see so much effort and quality put into it that this seam bothers me a lot actually. Alright, last but not least, I wanted to show off what the Vaporeon Pop looks like next to the Afternoon with Eevee and Friends figure from Funko. And you gotta admit, guys, it looks really good, does it not? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, moving on, we have Jolteon. Now, as you guys should know, Jolteon is my favorite Eeveelution, and I'm disappointed. Right off the bat, this figure doesn't carry the same quality as the Vaporeon. Now, I believe the body is very well sculpted, and it does have a little bit of heft to it, but what's upsetting me is the head. The head isn't quite as nice as the sculpt for Vaporeon, and the quality feels more traditional to your standard Funko Pop, hollow on the inside. It is what it is though. Alright guys, I have a little bit of a zoomed in picture here of the back of the figure because this is what's bothering me so much. Take a look at the neck. Why does Jolteon have a giraffe neck? They did not do the tuft of the necks for Jolteon thick enough to accommodate for that small space that's in between. With the Vaporeon, it's not really an issue, but here, this is abysmal. I don't know why Funko needed to do this with the neck. This is bad. This is really bad, and it makes the sculpt for Jolteon look terrible when you're looking at it from different angles. When you're looking at it dead on, you know, the way it's supposed to be displayed, you don't notice this. But taking a look at it now, I'm just utterly disappointed with this. Whoever's making this loves Vaporeon and they hate Jolteon. Straight up. And just like we showed for Vaporeon, here is Jolteon standing next to the Afternoon with Eevee and Friends counterpart. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, last but certainly not least, we have the Flareon. Now, this one looks really good and it feels good. The quality is back with this figure. So Jolteon is basically the only one that got screwed from a quality standpoint. This looks really good though. I love the way they did the tufts around the neck, the flame around the ears. Oh, this looks fantastic. What I'm really loving is the paint scheme. They did a fantastic job painting this figure. But guys, let's look at it from a few different angles now, okay? Alright guys, and just like we did for the other two, here's Flareon next to its An Afternoon with Eevee and Friends counterpart. So that's all three of these bad boys unboxed, but guys, let's go ahead and move into comparison time because I can't wait to show off a few things. Alright, so I went ahead and broke out the original Eevee that was done and put it next to these guys because we're still missing the new Eevee from this line. But take a look, these all look really great next to the Eevee. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy to have these three in my collection. But guys, that's not all. What we have here is the 10-inch Dynamax version of the Funko Pop Eevee, and we placed it next to the Vaporeon, the Jolteon, the Flareon, and the 4-inch Eevee. And don't these figures look fantastic standing side by side with one another? And just because I want to flex a little bit, guys, take a look. Here we have all 23 Pokemon Pop that have been released up to this point. Now we're still awaiting Eevee. That'll be released on Tuesday, but on Sunday, October 4th, they're also releasing the 10-inch Cubone and the 10-inch Mewtwo, so those will be added to the collection shortly. But guys, take a look at these 23 Pokemon Funko Pops. They are incredible. I love what Funko has been able to do with this series. Okay, you know what time it is, guys. It is score time, my favorite time. Why? Because I can tell you whether or not something is actually worth your hard-earned money. So these are retailing at $10.99. You should be able to find these virtually anywhere you find your Funko Pops. They are common, so you don't have to go too much out of your way to find them. I got these three at GameStop, and GameStop was doing a buy three get one free. So I ended up getting a different kind of pop, not related to Pokemon, after I got these three. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and start with the quality of these figures because they are really different amongst the three. Starting with Vaporeon. Vaporeon's quality is the highest among the three. It just feels so much better. There's a heft to it. The head doesn't feel hollow. The body is certainly not hollow. And it just feels great. But then when you move on to the Jolteon, which is the next figure in the line, it's terrible. And then you saw that issue it had with the neck that just drives me absolutely batshit crazy. It's all over the place with these three Pokemon, and it's upsetting because you can tell they put a lot of emphasis on the sculpt, but didn't think about how practical these sculpts actually were. So we ended up with Pops that are all over the board, and it's weird because on one end I want to score them high, but on the other hand I want to score them low as well. So I think a good middle ground is to say that these get a 6 out of 10 in terms of their build quality, just because there are varying degrees between the three Pops. And there's a fourth one that I haven't had a chance to look at yet, and I'm hoping that it's not worse than the three that we've seen here, because that would just shatter me. That Eevee looks really good in that standing pose, so I would hate to see it fall to the same, depths as Jolteon does. Moving on to their sculpts are brilliant. These are really good designs, and it makes them stand out amongst the other Pokemon Pop, because when you look at the Pops that have 4 legs in this line, for the most part, aside from Vulpix, most of them have been in seated positions. And when I look at these figures, they don't really feel like they're in the same category as the other Pokemon Pops that have been released up to this point. They feel like a series unto themselves. Like, this is the Eeveelution series, whereas the other Pokemon Pops are part of the Pokemon Pop line. I know that's not the case, but that's how it feels when I look at these sculpts, because they're so drastically different than the other Pops in the Pokemon line. You can tell that Funko has learned a lot from working on the Pikachu and Afternoon with Eevee series, because these Eevees and these Pikachu Pops, they've been getting a lot more intricate in terms of their stances. And that's something the other Pokemon Pops just haven't been able to carry over. So for their sculpts, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give them a 10 out of 10. I think these sculpts are really well done. I love the emphasis that they put on these poses, and they all look great when you look at them head on. So we gave it a 6 for the quality, and we gave it a 10 for its sculpt work. So guys, its final score is going to be an 8 out of 10. They get our official Nintendo Power Zone seal of quality, but it feels like they only scrape by. Honestly, the difference between the three sculpts as far as their quality is concerned is very jarring. I almost recommend skipping Jolteon and just picking up Vaporeon, Flareon, and we'll see what happens when we review the Eevee, because I have no idea what that's going to look like yet or feel like. Anyway, guys, it's time for me to go ahead and get out of your hair, but before I let you go, social media links. You can hit me up on Twitter at NyceOne983, and you can email me at NyceOne983@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/Nintendo Power Zone. If you're a fan of the Nintendo Power Zone podcast, you can always download new episodes on iTunes, Google Play Music, stream new episodes on Spotify and Stitcher Radio. But if you're a fan of the video version of the show, you can check us out right here on YouTube, youtube.com/Nintendo Power Zone. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to stay fresh. Deuces.